Hey everyone, RemanX here, and congratulations if this is your first night with Doc Ock. He is amazing, and probably more amazing than we give him credit for, because he happened to show up a couple of days after the symbiotes, and realistically, probably not using him as much as we should. If you guys have seen some of my previous videos, you guys can check them out, where I'm showcasing them beating Black Order, the symbiotes, with the help of Doc Ock. That offense down is pretty powerful. So when you can't add it because of the presence of Doc Ock, well, that makes a lot of teams less value. Now, more importantly, as you're building him up, you got to realize that he has a very special ability when he uses his ultimate, and that is a buff flip. And that buff flip also extends the duration of debuffs on a target. So he has quite a lot of synergy with other teams when it comes to all of those things. Now, quick warning, if this is the first time you're using him, we have been trying to get the developers to recognize what might be a minor bug with Doc Ock, because he doesn't get the benefit from his own speed up the first time he gets charged, because the speed up disappears promptly at spawn, because it's only one turn, not two. A lot of characters have had that issue. Most recently, I think it was with Proxima when she gave it to Thanos. So, Scopely, if you're paying attention, let us know. All right, so Doc Ock is a very unique character. So unlike, and this is a problem, and we're going to just make sure you guys understand this. Unlike when we did the clone for Mr. Sinister, the summon reflects all the T4s in the individual abilities. So we're going to talk about how he works so you get a better idea of who to bring to the team. So first things first, the Doc Ock passive is a very, very powerful ability. This is pretty the staple of the team because he enhances the chargeable damage. Okay, so that means him, Electro, and Swarm are staples of the war team, and it makes them a lot better. So T4 in that passive makes them such a great team. Now, although we're going to talk about is the Sinister recharge, and that's because it's going to be boosting the charge team. So around the 3-piece combo, that is also going to boost the summon special. Now, remember, this summon will be one of these 5 characters. Now, what'll happen is if you bring Shocker, you'll get Vulture. If you bring Shocker and Vulture, you'll get Rhino. If you bring Shocker, Vulture, and Rhino, you'll get Green Goblin. And if you bring all of those characters, you'll get Mysterio. So it's one of 5, and it excludes a summon. Now remember, this works in a way so that when you do that summon, if the character's already there, it only fills the speed bar. It doesn't keep bringing in more of the characters. So that's important to know. So I do recommend this special. It is an extension of the charge. It is keeping the team going. Now, over time, depending on which character you bring, you may want to do the basic and the ult. Now, the ult is just extra bonus damage. And we call these the E-Ping T4s. And what that means is, because there's a 7 red star, I just wanted higher gear score on them. So pick on me later. Now we're going to talk about Electro. Now Electro is an amazing character. Now I've also gone a little bit hard on Electro. She is probably one of the biggest elements of this team with her opening offense down. The fact that on war, every single time she her allies take a turn, she's targeting the lowest health character. It's pretty powerful. She gets a charge and then charges the lowest health character. So it is a lot of damage to the enemy team. So on turn gain 1 charge, I like the 100% damage. Her chain lightning, I do like for the 2 turns of offense down. That could shut down a ton of offenses. And more importantly, live wire if you're expecting they're bringing a large tank that's buffed. So this is what we call the Black Order killer. And so when you're matching that Cole, if they're not careful, their Cole can get destroyed, although they are a little bit weaker to Black Order, so that's something to be aware of. Now, we're going to talk about Why Mysterio belongs on the team and why I think you would probably be remiss without him. And that's going to come down to the fact that he is offering deflect. And we all know that Doc Ock actually heals with his block. So what this does is it gives him 2 extra heals. And so the enemy has to get through those 2 deflects before they can start easily putting damage into Doc Ock. So another reason why we talk about having him, and he actually is a pretty good character. His buff was substantial, and more importantly, he does give you extra focus. All right, and there is a little bonus on here. If you do his passive, you can get an extra 3 characters for the old shell game. Guess which Mysterio is real, and if not, he can resurrect. And if you've ever fought this team and extended the fight too long, you might have seen that happen. So we're going to talk about something else right here. Green Goblin. Now, Green Goblin was left off by a lot of us until I started doing some testing. And actually, I do have him adjacent to Doc Ock for purposes of team positioning. I don't bring Rhino. What this does is if they bring X-Force, what's happening is on his turn, they could be plucking off some additional positive effects like evade or offense up. So on ally turn, its cauterize ability is very, very powerful. And just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, on any Spider-Verse ally's turn to choose random enemies, if they have a positive effect, remove one. That's a big deal. So with that extra focus from our good old buddy Mysterio and doing that with the 2 buffs on the turn, it's pretty powerful. Now Swarm. Swarm is actually a character that a lot of us slept on. When he gets powered up, he does a ton of damage between his bleeds, his deflect. So there are some T4s in here that I recommend, and ideally you'd want to get this T4 in his special and then his ult. I think those are the priorities for him. So other than that, if you've been hesitating building it up. Now let's say you have bigger red stars on some of the other characters. I do prefer Vulture as a addition if you don't have you don't want to bring Mysterio and you can boost your team. Then you can do that a little bit, but you're going to lose the extra focus, and sometimes teams just have overcome that too easily. So I think the top row here features a lot of the better characters, and like I said, the chargeable bonus damage is scary because people, with the passive evade, you know how it is. The AI evade is very, very powerful and can cause a lot of damage. So if you guys have faced a big Doc Ock, I'm going to talk about it. I'm experimenting a little bit here with the ISOs. I'm trying to extend some turns. What I'm hoping to do is when he calls for assists to strip some extra buffs, I don't know, may not be worth it. We're going to start seeing if I can challenge some of the larger black orders in the game. But from early testing, it seems to be okay. Obviously, like I said, I have quite a few on there. So the ISO recommendations here, stick to my sheets recommendations for now. These are in flux because I'm doing some more advanced testing, trying to pick off larger black order, and we'll have to see if it does actually pan out that way. So as far as team positioning, I do like having Electro and Green Goblin adjacent to Doc Ock because he does give the adjacent characters speed up and deflect once he's charged on turn, and then Swarm and Mysterio on the wings. Again, you have a lot of different choices for positioning. Rhino is also, like I said, a very good character. The problem is I found that he tanks when he actually does start taunting. It happens a little bit too slowly. He's actually a much more reliable DPS. So if you've got high stars, high red stars, he becomes daunting for a lot of the teams because he can extend a fight on his own because he may just wipe a character when he does actually finally trigger his taunt. So as far as the team goes, Sinister Six has become a staple of war defense. They're also amazing on war offense. By matching power levels and matching in T4 investment, this team has been able, with the top 5, to take on and beat the Black Order consistently. So that's the big thing I want to talk about. If you see Black Order on defense and you're in like a gold 3, gold 4, and you're having a hard time because they've stacked their Black Order on defense, well, you got to think about it. Either they're gonna wish they didn't have it on defense if you have a significant investment in your S6, but if you need a team to beat that Black Order, this team will actually do it. There's specific turn orders. I may make a video about that later on. So that's it for this. Congratulations, guys. Remember, I do things so you don't have to. I've been doing some ISO testing, and we'll have some more results soon. We're doing a lot more advanced testing with some of the more advanced teams, and I'm trying to get consistent results for my defense, which is harder to do than other environments. Anyways, love you much. Catch you soon. See you on Twitch.